differentiated or complex, just as much as there are difficult dynamics between the municipality and communities. Inside the municipality, there are also communities, right? Bureaucratic communities with their own cultures and practices, their own issues of inertia and path dependency, and all those things that we like to roll our eyes about and complain about when it gets time to try to do something that's innovative and that involves lots of partners. So with that said, I just wanted to give you some quick background to Sustainable Cities International, the organization that I work with in Vancouver, although I should say that I'm now based here in Montreal. It's nice to be back home. Sustainable Cities International, as I mentioned, our head offices are in Vancouver. We also have project-level staff in Montreal, as well as in Durban and in Dar es Salaam in Africa, where we run different types of CEDA-funded projects, all geared around encouraging integrated approaches to long-term sustainable development planning. We also run a larger Sustainable Cities network, and the members are up here on the map that you can see. Today I'm going to be drawing from 4 years of research with our cities to talk a bit about these themes of internal networking and coordination. I'm going to be focusing on the 3 cities that I've highlighted: Metro Vancouver, Portland, Oregon, and Durban in South Africa. What I want to do here is to sort of raise a question that's easy to ask, but it's difficult to answer. How can you take climate change and sustainability planning from being something that's the responsibility of sometimes just a single person, or if you're lucky, maybe a team within the municipality? And how can you make it part of the business of the municipality as a whole? Right? How can you go from creating incremental change on the margins to creating large systemic change throughout the organization of the municipality? And I think it's worth spending 60 seconds to say why I'm asking that particular question. And that, at least, is an easy one to answer. It's about potential, performance, and problems. It's what I call the "you are here" moment. Okay? We all know that cities have huge environmental potential because of the impacts that they have. So addressing those impacts can have large beneficial effects. So if you look at Ken Livingstone's comments when he was still the head of the C40 and the mayor of London, talking about how urban areas are responsible for over 75% of greenhouse gas emissions, and so therefore the battle to prevent catastrophic climate change will be won or lost in cities. The problem is that cities are not living up to that potential. If you look, for example, at a recent survey conducted by the International City-County Management Association in the United States, they found that in a group of over 2,000 municipalities, only 18% had any type of, broadly speaking, sustainability or climate change plan, even when you define those things very, very broadly. And if you look specifically at an issue like trying to set targets to reduce community-wide greenhouse gas emissions, something that Chantal was talking about we're doing here in Montreal, but that number drops to somewhere between 1% and 3%. Overall, a majority of American cities in this survey are simply unconcerned by environmental issues. And even among the ranks of the people who are supposed to be committed, people who have signed on, or cities, I should say, who signed on to the US Mayor's Climate Pact, or ICLEI's Cities for Climate Protection, performance overall is poor. That, though, isn't the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that even while temperatures continue to rise, and we're really starting to see now the impacts of climate change playing out at a global scale in things like food prices, for example, we're using more energy than ever before. We're burning more coal than ever before. We're releasing more greenhouse gases than ever before. And more worryingly, we're increasing the rate at which we do those things at a speed which we've never seen before. Looking at those trends, the International Energy Association's lead economist described the prospect of keeping the increase in global temperatures over the century below some kind of safe threshold of around, say, 2 degrees Celsius as a nice utopia. That's the problem that we're facing. That's point A. If we need to get to point B, which you can roughly use a metric around greenhouse gases to describe needing to get 80% below 1990 emissions by 2050, then we have to stop. Here we are talking about urban sustainability. We have to stop talking and celebrating marginal successes like say, energy efficient streetlights or 1 or 2 LEED certified buildings. We have to move on to a discussion, integrated systemic change within our municipalities.